All right, time being 6 o'clock, I will call the Abington Board of Health meeting to order. All members present. The first item on our agenda is COVID-19 update. So I'll defer to our health agent.
All right, good evening, everyone. I hope you are doing as well as can be possible. I'm sure, as everybody knows, there are a little over 41,000 cases reported in Massachusetts. Almost 2,000 have lost their lives, and that numbers are continuously updated on our website. As of today, there was 78 cases confirmed in Abington, 15 of which have completed quarantine and been taken off the list. So right now, that's what, 63 as of right now, and that's a moving number that tracks every day. Actually, every couple hours that has been changing. We've asked everyone to wear masks as much as humanly possible while they're outside or while they're going into stores. The status of our PPE remains pretty much unchanged. We're still good to go. We have I have a conference call with fire and police every day to discuss the events that they're doing and to discuss PPE. And right now we're pretty good. The Colony Center is the only, that's our most vulnerable population. And I think they had everybody tested today, every patient. I think that finished up today. And I've talked to Becky, who is the administrator, and forgive me, I don't remember the director of nursing's name. That's rude. But I have frequent conferences with them. Yeah, and that's really all the major changes that I have right now, unless you have any specific questions.
Anybody have questions?
I had a resident ask me a question about landscapers.
I had a question somebody asked me that too. I don't have all of the essential work memorized, but I'd refer them to the governor's list of essential work. And you could, if they're just mowing grass, I'd say that's probably not essential. But if there's a tree leaning on a house, that's essential, or certainly could be, especially after the recent storms. If there's a lot of underbrush, or if there's a lot of like buildup and something like that, it certainly could be, and it also could not be. So that's one of those things where I would say, we have to use our best judgment. Is landscaping essential? Maybe. It certainly could be if there's a tree on your garage.
Right.
Which I'm aware is not a good answer. But we kind of use common sense as best as possible.
Right. Probably usually good to follow the money there. Whoever's paying them, that's the person to.
Yeah, to call and poke and say, please stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah, that's to follow the money.
And how
speaking of money, I still got 12 grand for right now for a grant money for help with contact tracing and help with some compliance. So hopefully I'll have someone in the office this week helping with that.
Good.
Oh, that's
Yeah, and I think we probably, just for the advantage of people listening in, should make that clear, because I've fielded some questions from residents asking if there are people in their apartment complexes that have been infected. That is all confidential information, which is illegal for us to share, correct?
That is, HIPAA prevents us from sharing any information, including addresses. The only people I can share addresses with are to the first responders, so they know if the house they're going to is on their list of COVID positives.
Okay. I hope that,
yeah. Great question, Chris.
Hope that clears it up for people. The other thing I wanted to bring up, well, we got the whole board together. So we currently have a recommendation in place for wearing masks when you're out in public, going into stores and stuff. How do we feel about issuing an order? A bunch of towns around the state are starting to do that this week and today. Randolph just put one into place. Westport just put one into place. And I know, I don't know if privately people have heard, but I've gotten a number of complaints and concerns through the Facebook page from people who are working in stores asking that an order be put in place.
I entirely agree with this, Chris. I think we should definitely move forward to it. If there's a way that we can keep everybody safe, not only the employees. I know most of the businesses in town are actually making it mandatory for their employees to be wearing masks. But I think if customers coming in, if you're asymptomatic, you should be wearing a mask. So I like that approach.
My
I
only
also
concern
agree.
my only concern would be, how would we enforce that? Are we making a fine?
I like the idea of the business is responsible for making sure that customers in there are the ones that are wearing masks, and then telling them to leave if they aren't. I mean, that's what my recommendation. I mean, because outside of that, I don't really understand. I don't really have a good way to enforce it. So we put the responsibility on the business. Like, if Walmart is responsible for making sure that the customers coming in there are wearing some type of face covering. And the CDC has put out that guidance that it doesn't have to be a surgical mask. It can be, something, and they did that whole how-to on the website.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would like to say, I noticed like Randolph, I think they have a $100 fine in place. And I think the point of that, it's sort of like when you charge for an event, just by having a fine in place, hopefully makes people take it seriously. We obviously we don't have the enforcement capability, but I would presume that that's the same for most towns. I don't think most Board of Healths have like 5 agents that can be running around tagging people, but
yeah.
you have the order there, and then you hope people follow it. And if you have to go after a store because they're not doing it, that's a different case.
Yeah, then you spot check.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea. Obviously, I'll leave it up to the board. I can write it up if it's something you want to. I mean, does it count as COVID update? I will leave that up to you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, I don't. Do we want to take a vote on it? I guess we can, just for the sake of.
Do we want to make a motion?
Well, yeah. All right. So I'll entertain a motion to that we issue an order modeled on Randolph's to require masks,
Yeah,
I
for
think I
face
might-
coverings.
customers.
face coverings.
Okay, I'll make a motion.
All right. Do I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor? I guess actually raise your hand so that we can.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I don't know why I did that, but I
I think
Aye.
I'm gonna have to abstain.
All right. So we got 3-1-1. So motion passes.
We're still on update? Can I ask a question?
Oh, yeah.
Marty, do you think we should think about extending plastic bags any further, that ban?
Yes.
Is that something we should
I mean,
take action on now?
I don't remember the exact date that the governor's enforcement of all plastic bans be revoked. So sorry, I don't have that. I don't know that number. So
That would technically trump us, right? If the governor.
yes,
yeah.
it does. But I think if we moved it back a month, to like June 1st, that would be a pretty good idea. And then if the governor says something different, well, then we can address that in the interim.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
That's a good idea, Aaron. Thank you, Marty.
Do we want to
So
take a vote on that?
If we're going to take a vote on that, I'll make a motion to extend the plastic bag ban until June 1st.
Okay.
Enforcement of the plastic bag ban until June 1st.
I got a second?
I'll second it.
No. Phew. All in favor, raise your hand. Aye.
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 All right, that passes. 5-0.
Awesome.
All right.
Oh, and I want to bring something up. I know a lot of people working from home, or they're staying at home. So a lot of people are doing a lot of yard work and everything. So I know a lot of residents have reached out to me A lot have reached out to the office. I'm more than willing to go down and maybe perhaps opening the compost site for perhaps an afternoon or one of the weekends coming up, just so people can get rid of their yard waste and things like that. Marty, any thoughts on that?
I mean, other than I'm sure a lot of residents would appreciate it, I know we would definitely have to make sure that, there couldn't be a line. The minute there's a line, we got to have somebody, you can't go. And then I would worry that it could cause traffic concerns more than because it's been closed so much. But I don't think it's a bad idea at all. I think it might help a bit if we wanted to open it on, like, what do you think, like Saturday morning?
Yeah, I was thinking like a Saturday morning, maybe even perhaps even this Saturday, next Saturday, whatever have you. I mean, I'm more than willing to go down and man it myself and stuff. So
This Saturday is the 25th.
25th.
And next Saturday is the 2nd. I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea as long as people understand that, one person gets out of the car, unloads a leaf. You're only there so they can drop off leaves, not scrap metal,
Yeah.
not computers, not mattresses, not any of our other programs. It's just yard waste.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, as if we can come up with some kind of guidance that says, limited personal contact, obviously, and having it open. I think it's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, no, if I'm more than happy to sit down with you, probably write some rules we want to have in place just so everybody is safe.
I think we just did.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yard waste only.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm just talking about making sure the distance and everything. One person getting out of the car, just like you said.
Piece of cake.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe
It's a
if
crumb
we,
cake.
if we could have, if we get the volunteers, like I'm available, if we could have 3 of us down there, so maybe you could have someone by the gate watching.
I could be down there too.
Doesn't get out of control. As
Perfect.
long as we maintain our own social distancing, because we got to lead by example.
Yep, exactly.
I'll make sure that you guys have masks.
Awesome.
So
Good.
do we need a vote on something like that if we wanted to open up, say, for this weekend or next weekend?
I don't think so.
I'd be hesitant to put it to a vote because if something comes up to change that, then we kind of get ourselves in a jam.
Okay.
But it's an informal favor sort of thing. So.
Yeah. Sounds good.
I think the current forecast is for some rain on Saturday, but
No, so Friday and Sunday. Saturday would be a great day to do it as of right now. I just looked.
awesome. It's a great thing about Massachusetts. Weather changes daily.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you don't like the weather? Wait. High of 57 on Saturday. Sunny all day. You work on your tan.
Cool.
Nice.
All right. Did anybody else have anything else on COVID-19? If not, our other agenda item was restarting inspections, I believe.
Yes. So I asked to put this on there. Thank you. So there's so we missed a good chunk of March inspections, most of them, all of April so far. And I don't know how long this is going to last. So my concern is all of the restaurants were closed. All of the retail establishments weren't, but it would be just that we pick up the schedule on its regular scheduled time. So like March, April, they are what they are. If you were scheduled for inspections in June and were open, then they just carry on. If that makes sense, right? So if it was missed in April, well, it was missed, and we're gonna anything that was due in June, going forward, we'll restart. And I don't know. It depending upon the situation, I might have to ask for someone to assist in that. But it would be
Okay.
just pick up when they open. If they were due in June and we open in June, then every establishment that's already scheduled to get inspected in June, that's when it starts. If that makes sense, you're going to get that. Yeah.
I think anybody that was scheduled in March and April is not going to complain.
Nope.
Probably. I mean, no. And then you also kind of bunch them all together. So it's like, instead of, trickling them out through the year, they get mushed into 2 months. If I do them all in June, now I got to do them all again in December or January. And then so it's better to, to have a little bit each month than everyone in 1 or 2 months.
And of course, we still have mechanisms in place to report a problem if there's a problem. So,
Yeah.
All right. I don't think we need to vote on that, do we? That's just
I doubt
housekeeping.
it. And
don't
yeah,
think
that's more
so.
housekeeping. And I think DPH is going to put something out when that comes out, when everything gets the order to reopen.
Yeah.
So as soon as I get that, I'll forward it. But it's my thought that they will as well.
Makes sense.
Right.
All right. Those are the only agenda items we had. As usual, I love this board. We keep most of our meetings an hour, so that's good stuff.
Do you need a motion to adjourn?
I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All right. All in favor of adjourning? Wave. All right, guys, stay safe.